Deladon again.
We had a great year last year, won a lot of games.
Happy Friday, CA Hoops fans, and welcome back to another edition of CA Hoops Weekly. I'm your host, Bobby Broyles, along with my colleague, Rob Washburn. We are winding down the final weeks of the regular season, and we have a lot to get to today. Also, we will be talking to our special guest, the double-double machine Towson's Darrell Venman. But first, it is time to recap some of this week's action around CAA men's basketball. And we begin in Matthews Arena as it came down to the wire between the top two teams in the standings, with Northeastern pulling out the win late over JMU.
Yeah, matchup between the number 1 and number 2 teams, and the game certainly didn't disappoint. Northeastern jumps out to a 6-point lead in the game, but as they've made a habit of doing lately, JMU rallies behind 21 points from senior A.J. Davis off the bench. They go up by 6 with 8 minutes to go. Quincy Ford from Northeastern scores 11 of his 14 in the second half to bring the Huskies back and set the stage for a dramatic finish where Jonathan Lee drives baseline, finds Davey Walker open along the baseline, and he nails a 15-footer to give Northeastern the victory and a share of their first CAA regular season title.
So congratulations to the Huskies. And then Thursday night, another wild one when two rivals met. A lot on the line in Newark as the Delaware Blue Hens hosted the Drexel Dragons. And like I said, Rob, it was a wild one last night.
Another classic between two longtime rivals that was decided in double overtime. Delaware gets off to a fast start in this one and leads by 7 at the half. Drexel behind Franz Massonet and Damian Lee rallied back and actually took a 4-point lead with about 2 minutes to go. But Delaware battles back, sends the game into overtime. Both teams tight in the first overtime and through the second overtime. Derek Thomas hits a jumper with 50 seconds left, puts Drexel ahead 71-70. But Delaware comes through from the free throw line. Terrell Rogers, the freshman, comes off the bench, hits a couple of free throws. Jamel Hagans adds another one. Drexel has a chance at the end. Franz Massonet with a runner in the lane. It's tipped away by Hagans at the buzzer. And Delaware comes up with the big win. He moves to 10-5 in the league and into a tie for second place. Devon Sadler in that game, 31 points, a career high. Damian Lee with 25 points and 11 rebounds for Drexel.
Well, with the regular season coming to a close here in a couple weeks, every game now becomes more important. So let's take a look at this weekend's action as we begin in Fairfax as the George Mason Patriots play host to probably one of the league's hottest teams right now in the William & Mary Tribe.
Yeah, no question. William & Mary comes into the game on a 3-game winning streak after beating Georgia State on Monday night. Tribe shooting 53% from the floor over its last 6 games, and they've been on fire from three-point range, 12 of 18 from beyond the arc against Georgia State. Marcus Thornton is second in the league in scoring and leading the league in three-pointers, and Brandon Britt averaging almost 18 points a game over his last 6 games. Now for George Mason, they're coming off an impressive 29-point win at Hofstra on Wednesday night, which was its 4th straight victory on the road. The Patriots held the Pride to 27% field goal shooting and will need a similar defensive effort to slow down William & Mary. For George Mason, Jonathan Arledge remains hot. He had 20 points in 19 minutes up at Hofstra and continues to play well inside for George Mason.
You can catch the Tribe and the Patriots Saturday at 4 on many Comcast Sportsnet regional networks. Also tipping off on Saturday at 4 will be the Georgia State Panthers hitting the road to take on the JMU Dukes. It will be senior day in Harrisonburg for a loaded Dukes senior class.
Yeah, there should be plenty of emotion at JMU as they bid farewell to a 6-man senior class. One of those seniors is Devon Moore, who scored double figures in 6 straight games and needs just 2 assists to become the all-time leader in assists at JMU. JMU's 7-1 at home in CAA play and is going to need this one to stay in the hunt for the number 2 seed in the CAA. Now, Georgia State, they ran out of gas a little bit on the back end of a road swing at William & Mary on Monday, but they've still won 8 of their last 11 and are playing extremely well. The Panthers also have a very talented point guard and junior Devontae White, and then, of course, the fabulous freshman R.J. Hunter, who needs just 12 points to set the Georgia State freshman scoring record.
Now here is a look at the rest of this weekend's action around CAA men's basketball. Other news around CA men's hoops, UNCW's Keith Rendelman and Delaware's Jamel Hagans both have joined the 1,000-point and 1,000 rebounds club this past week.
Yeah, very exclusive club. Only 8 players in CA history ever to reach those milestones, and to have 2 of them do it in the same season is quite an accomplishment. 2 of the best players, again, to play at their schools. Both are their all-time leading rebound leaders.
Speaking of players that know how to fill the bucket and grab some rebounds, leads us to our special guest today. The Towson Tigers are one of the surprise teams in all of men's college basketball this season, and a big reason why is the play of Darrell Venman, who joins us now from Towson. Darrell, congratulations on a big season so far. How has the week off been treating you?
It was good. I think we took a couple of days off earlier in the week, made sure everybody got back healthy. I hurt my back last game, so it's been pretty good for me having a couple of days off as well.
Good to see that you are getting healthy. Darrell, let's first talk about your decision to transfer from Georgetown to Towson. Talk about that process and what ultimately led to your decision.
It was basically just the coaching staff. They were really, when I was transferring, they made sure to contact me all the time, and they were a big influence on getting me here.
Darrell, you're second in the nation with 18 double-doubles this season. Why have you been able to have so much success at Towson this year?
I don't know. Since high school, I've always been a pretty good rebounder, and so that's just rebounding always carries over from every level. And I worked really hard on my offensive game in my off year, so that's probably the biggest key.
What can you say about the turnaround this season? Last season, you sat out last year and watched the Tigers come up with only one win, but this season has been a different story as the Tigers are tied for second place in the CAA with 10 wins.
Like Coach always says, better players. We got a lot of good players that came in. Mike sat out with me. Bilal Dixon came from Providence, and we got a lot of good freshmen that come in and contribute for us as well. And I think we're just playing defense, and we're putting the ball in the hoop.
Let's talk about your game a little bit. What part of your game do you consider your best weapon that makes you so effective on the floor?
I guess it's just, I think Coach did a really good job with making sure that he would find different plays in different ways so I could get mismatches or easier shots in the game. And I think being able to be on the perimeter and be able to be in the post helps me a lot because it creates a lot of mismatches for a lot of fours and threes and fives in the league.
The Tigers have a new arena set to be open next year for your senior season. Talk about the excitement around the team and playing in this new venue for the 2013-14 season.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen what's been done so far too. It looks really close to being done. Everybody's excited. Everybody around campus, everybody around the area is really excited to play the first game in the new arena.
Darrell, once again, thanks for joining us on the show, and good luck the rest of the season.
All right, thanks for having me.
Darrell Venman of the Towson Tigers joining us today on CAA Hoops Weekly. Now, as we switch over to women's hoops, it is not only the Towson men's team making noise as of late, but the women's team has also played well recently, winning 2 of its last 3, including an upset win over Hofstra on Tuesday night before falling to JMU Thursday.
Yeah, Towson led Hofstra by just 1 with 3 minutes left when freshman guard Dominique Johnson scored 7 points in a 75-second span and gave the Tigers a 69-60 victory. Johnson finished with 18 points, and guard Tanisha McTiller came through with a team-high 24 points. That was Towson's second straight win after a 1-11 start in CAA play, so the Tigers are certainly playing their best basketball as tournament time approaches. Hofstra gets 16 points from Candace Bond in their setback.
2 rivals squared off Thursday night in Norfolk as ODU played host to William & Mary. The Lady Monarchs were not just looking for a win on Thursday, but to help support a good cause as well.
Yeah, it was barefoot night at the Constant Center's. ODU coach Karen Barefoot helped support Samaritan's Feet by asking fans to donate shoes for those in need across the world. In a well-played game, saw 10 ties and 6 lead changes before the Lady Monarchs were able to pull away for a 75-64 victory. ODU senior Jackie Cook scored a team-high 21 points for the second straight game and became the 30th player in ODU history to go over 1,000 points in her career. The Tribe gets another impressive performance from Emily Corral, who poured in a game-high 26 points in the setback.
As we take a look at Sunday's action, it will be part 2 between the top 2 teams in the standings as the 18th-ranked Delaware Blue Hens host the JMU Dukes at 4:30. This game can be seen on many Comcast Sportsnet regional outlets.
Yeah, matchup of the number 1 and number 2 teams in the CAA not only this season, but 2 programs with so much history and so many great games between them. The squads met in Harrisonburg just 2 weeks ago, and JMU trailed by just 2 with 3 minutes to go. Elena Delanon, who had 20 points and 10 rebounds in that game, hit several key buckets down the stretch and gave the Blue Hens a 71-64 victory. Now, Delaware can clinch at least a share of the CAA regular season title with a win, while JMU needs this game to stay in the hunt for the number 1 seed. The contest features 4 of the top backcourt players in the CAA with Delanon and Lauren Carroth for Delaware, and then JMU counters with Tweak Hislop and Kirby Burkholder. Should be another classic between the 2 teams.
Should be a great one Sunday afternoon, so don't miss it. Now here's the rest of Sunday's lineup around CAA women's basketball. At the sold-out Bob Carpenter Center this weekend, the Delaware and JMU game will also be the last of the conference Play for K games, where teams celebrate the life of former NC State head coach Kay Yao, who passed away in 2009 after losing her fight with breast cancer, and raise money to find a cure for the disease.
Yeah, the Play for K initiative has been a great program that was put together by the WBCA, and all 11 CA teams have participated wearing the pink uniforms, and it's just a great initiative that's been put together that our CA teams and all the teams across the country have been involved with, and hopefully will raise a lot of money and awareness for a very important cause.
Other news and notes around CAA women's hoops. Delaware's Elena Deladon continues to break records as she now holds the record for free throws made in a career after Tuesday night's win over Mason. Deladon was also honored on Thursday as just the 4th Division I women's basketball player in history to earn Capital One Academic All-America of the Year honors in back-to-back seasons.
Quite an accomplishment. Just shows not only is she an outstanding player on the court, but is getting it done in the classroom as well.
That is it from us for today's show. Remember to watch our show every Friday, and that you can find much more video content from around CA Sports and our new home, CAA.tv. We want to thank Towson's Darrell Venman once again for being our special guest on the show today. We will be right back here next week. Enjoy the games this weekend.